Hello everyone, welcome today. So this will be a comparison video because I've done the individual reviews of the Zhulinniao Z4 dynamic driver earphone. I've also done the review for the new, actually it really is not new, it came out last year, for the QuietSea. This is from Roost Technics, the QuietSea. So I've done the review for both of them individually, but now I feel like it's time for me to compare these models to some of my other favorite earphones that are within the $100 range. Number one is my favorite in the last 5 years, which is the Tripowin Olina. This is the OG Tripowin Olina, and let me make one thing clear. The Tripowin Olina is the longest serving earphone I've had till date. I've never had any earphone that has lasted me this long. This earphone has stayed with me for 4 to 5 years now. I'm certain it's like 5 years, but let's say 4 to 5 years. Linso sent me this about 4 or 5 years ago, and since then I've used this relentlessly on so many different levels, like different way. I've used it in a very, very hard fashion, and it's never broken down, no driver failure, no issue whatsoever. I first of all commend an earphone that can stay 5 years long in like 5 years running without an issue. That is amazing. And then I'll get to the sound and why it's still my favorite of all the earphones that are still coming out till date. It's still my favorite. Then you have the Kiwi ears Quartet. Now this is from Linso as well. They sent this to me last year, the Quartet. Now I love this earphone. It is a bass monster. If you love bass, I'll get to why I love it. It's a very fun sounding earphone. All of them have their qualities, but there are some differences between each of them, and I'm gonna go over them right now because I know once you buy any of them, you would more or less want to see if it's good enough to compete with other ones around this price range. So the Z4. Now the Z4 is a very, very well built earphone, and even though it's $44 right now, it is, if I look at all four of them, I would say the Z4 is the best looking earphone for me in particular. I love the way it looks. It looks gorgeous. I'm just a huge fan of this design. My second favorite would probably still be the Olinas, because the Olinas, even though it's old, the Olinas look just beautiful. Like, the Olinas look so easy to fit into your ears. They don't fatigue you, and that's the reason why I've kept it this long without having any issue with it, because it's the only earphone that I've worn all these years without a single ear fatigue or pain, or there's this thing called pressure buildup. In the last 4 or 5 years I've used the Olinas, I've never had any issue about pressure buildup or fatigue. No matter how many hours I put it on, it's perfect for my ears. Now the least perfect for me is the Kiwi ears, but the Kiwi ears has its own qualities that I love about. That's why it's still with me, and I've not given it away or dashed it out and all that. It's still there with me. The thing here is that sound quality will be the main reason why one will be given away and why some will continue staying in my collection. Let me first start out with the Z4. The Zhulinniao Z4. The Zhulinniao Z4 is a neutral earphone. There's no way to go about it. It doesn't emphasize so much on bass. It doesn't emphasize so much on treble, and it doesn't over push the mids in your face. It is just a detailed set. It's what it wants to do. It is what it wants to showcase as its full performance for you. This is what it does very well. The problem with neutral sets that don't emphasize on any of the main frequencies is that you get bored of the sound. It gets stale. They call it stale, it gets stale because you might want slamming bass at one. Like if there are some tracks I played while listening to this set. I got quite bored because it wasn't able to slam really hard. So this is it. It wasn't able to hit hard because it's not a bass set. It's not the set that will make you feel like it's not gonna rumble your ears. It's not that set. It's not designed for that. But if you need a clean sound, if you need a neutral sound, this is the set for you. If you need to record, maybe you record at home, you need that set that will provide you with detail, this is it for you. You won't lack it. It's vocals. It's for vocals, people that want to talk, or you listen to podcasts, you need the accurate presentation of the vocals. This is for you. So I'll keep this aside, and then we'll talk about the QuietSea. The QuietSea, on the other hand, the QuietSea is neutral, but it tilts towards the fun side, which is the bass side. So the mid bass is elevated more on this. When I listen to it compared to the Zhulinniao Z4, immediately I just noticed the bass difference. This one had more potent bass. Like, you can easily tell apart. There is no, you won't even look for the bass. This has bass. This one has bass, very good bass, not slamming bass, but like good enough bass that you will enjoy your music. So I like this for what it can deliver in that region. The only thing this one lacks is that it has let me put it this way. I would say a very harsh top end, but it has a bit of a shrill top end. It's not that warm. It's trying to be clinical. It's trying to be too resolving for its own good. So it's a good thing on some occasions, and some occasions it's a bad thing. But regardless, it's a fantastic set. I love it, and I'm keeping it in my collection. It's just that it's trying to do too much at the same time. It's trying to be fun, and it's trying to be clinical and neutral at the same time. So as much as I love it, it still has a balance issue for me, you know, and I love it. I'll still keep it regardless. Then the next one is the Olinas, which till date, after 4 or 5 years of using it, the Olinas are still my favorite budget earphone till date. I don't know what it is about the Olinas. I have a love-hate relationship with this model over the last few years. At one point, I disliked it because the filters, I kept on changing filters for it. I kept on always getting filters, because these filters that it came with, it's not like all these other earphones that have their own nozzle that doesn't need filter change. This one, you have to change the filters every now and then. But I corrected that issue once and for all when I started using the QuietSea ear tips on them. If you look at all the earphones, like the Zhulinniao Z4, the QuietSea, all of these earphones are on the easy ear tips. So I'm advertising these QuietSea ear tips. It's on AliExpress. You can go there, you'll find the ear tips on the QuietSea store. I will tell you this right now. This brand, Tripowin, the Olinas, is still my favorite budget earphone. I actually sat down before making this video to still listen to all three sets to differentiate what makes each of them unique and perfect. I still found myself running back to the Olinas simply because of one reason and one reason only. Unlike these other two sets that are neutral, that want to impress you with how clinical that they are and how impressive they are with detail, this one is crazy fun. Its bass rumbles hard, and as well, it has very clean mids and clean enough highs without any issues. Now, I know people will say, oh, you've been with this one a long time, it's broken in perfectly, you hear it very well. That can be the case. I know these ones are new ones I just got. I've not really spent so much time with them. This has been here for so many years. I know how the Olinas sound without even thinking to. I already know what to expect with it. The thing here is that I like bass that rumbles. I like to feel that something is pounding in my ears sometimes. The Olinas, out of all these model does that for me without having what they call mod in the bass. It doesn't have mod in the bass. So it can rumble and it will not have mod in the bass. Now, the way you know how good an earphone is when you play a movie through it. I've used this earphone for almost, if I'm certain I've used it for more than 500 movies. So I know how the Olinas perform for movies. The Olinas till date are still my favorite earphones of all time for movies, because what they do is that when they get to an action scene, when there is a gunshot, the way it reproduces gunshot, I've never heard it from any other earphone. Other earphone tends to either have a very weird sound to some gunshots or to some explosion. This one peaks an explosion and actually reflects it the way you will perceive it in a cinema. So this is the best earphone I've used for movies, and I'm certain it will be amazing for gamers, because I'm not a gamer, but I know it will be amazing for gamers as well. The Olinas I've sung the praise of for several years, and I will keep singing that praise for a very long time. Not just because of the sound, but because of how long it has lasted. Very few in-ear monitors stay this number of years. Many of them have driver failures. Many of them wear out. Some of them have port issues, but this one has stayed the course of time without any single issue. No driver failure, no issue whatsoever. So I'm going to keep the Olinas, and then I'm going to talk about the Kiwi Ears Quartet. Is it Quartet? I think it's Quartet. Yeah, Quartet. The Kiwi Ears Quartet. This is the only earphone I don't have the easy ear tips on. For now, I put the Tripowin CP100? I'm not certain, but I know it's the CP100. I think it's Tripowin that makes it as well. I'm not certain, but the CP, is it that Tripowin or Dunu? I think Dunu makes the CP series of ear tips. So I think it's Dunu ear tips that is here. So the Dunu CP100 is what I have here. I bought this for a while now. The sound of this is V-shaped. This is a proper no-holds-barred bass head earphone. If you are a bass head, you love bass, you want slamming bass, you want to feel the bass in your ears, good bass, I'm not talking about muddy bass, then you get yourself the Quartet. This earphone is insane. I love the earphone. The problem I have with it is that the times I've used it to play movies, I don't like its performance for movies because of the bass it has. It has what they call slow bass. You know, it has slow bass, and as long as you don't overdo it, you know, like have a lot of action scenes pushing low frequency through it, it tends to have this kind of like stuffy bass where it's congested bass. So it's great bass for music. If it's for music, I love it for music. But like for movies, because movies need tactile bass that you feel and it goes away when it's not there. You know, because this one has a slower driver. The bass driver seems like it's slower. It rumbles along, but it doesn't have that tactile impact that the Olinas have. The Olinas, when there is a gunshot, I get scared. I'm like, wow, somebody shot at me. Like, you get that sensation, but you don't do that with this model. But if you're listening to rap music, like listening to hip hop, you're listening to a lot of jazz, a lot of those things that have longer decay of bass, then this model will work for you perfectly. Now, to this day, I still use this model, this Quartet Kiwi Ears, as my daily driver. When I mean daily driver, I use it for my podcast, for YouTube videos. I use it more so just for my everyday listening experience. And the reason I do that is because out of all four of these earphones, this is the easiest to drive. What do I mean by this? My phone can just run and power this, and it will play like as if it's on its full performance. It doesn't need much power. That's very critical. So the Quartet is the best earphone that I've gotten that has the ability to play loud and deliver great sound without any issues whatsoever. So I'm going to drop details for you guys for all four. For me, I would say, before I end the video, I would say my favorite is the Olinas. Then the second to my list, my second favorite would easily be the new QuietSea, Rose Technics QuietSea. Then my third will probably be still be this Kiwi Quartet. Then finally it will be the Z4. I feel the Z4 is very good for someone that likes neutral sound. Like if you care about to make music and maybe you do a lot of recordings at home, this is the perfect earphone for you. This is what you need because it's a very neutral set. It doesn't emphasize so much on any frequency for anybody. So I'm going to drop details for you guys, and that's the end of the comparison. Do subscribe to the channel, follow us here on YouTube, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys very much next time.